What's good, y'all? We're back with another one. I'm low-key cooking up like a 5-piece combo right now for y'all. You know, you're gonna have some back-to-back bangers, you know what I'm saying? I really liked how I got a lot more interaction with my last video, the Keith Lee video. Man, that shit had probably around like fucking 20 dislikes, and I only got 14 likes on that video. And there was a lot of like criticism and a lot of stuff going on in the comments, you know what I'm saying? And I actually fuck with that. You know, contrary to, you know, a lot of other people, I fuck with that. I want to hear the feedback. I want to hear, you know, people's comments, and I want to be able to, you know, have that space in the comments that's open dialogue where y'all feel free to, you know, call me out if you feel like I'm fucking yapping or some shit. You feel me? Like, I don't really care like that. At the end of the day, I said what I said, and you know, it's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna watch this video, this informative video, man. Shout out to Asmon Gold on YouTube. Y'all gotta watch him too. You know, he goes over a lot of different topics and shit. But I just seen a little clip of this, and I wanted to check it out and check out the full video and see what this man really talking about. He made a chart of the U.S. wealth inequality, like the wealth gap in the U.S. and shit. So I really want to check it out.
The US is a pretty rich country as far as countries go. While some people are apparently doing fine, most people I know seem pretty worried about money. 6 out of 10 people say they don't even have enough saved to cover a $500 emergency. So where is all this money?
That's
is there
crazy.
a chart to help us find it? You've probably seen one like this that shows the distribution of wealth in the US. If not, load up on antidepressants and watch this video from a while back. I made my own version of this chart with data from the 2019 Survey of Consumer Finances. It shows the population of the United States broken into 100 groups sorted by net worth. Each of these groups is 1% of the population, or about 3.3 million people. Over here is their net worth, which is a bit of a tricky number, but it's basically how much you would have after you sold everything you own, like stocks, houses, and cars, and used it to pay back what you owe to banks, credit cards, and everyone else. So yeah, this is the chart that shows that most of the nation's wealth is held by only 1% of the population, while the other 99% clip coupons and try to make money on eBay. This is why you hear people talking about the 1% and the 99%. My problem with this chart isn't that it inspires outrage in a nihilistic sense that fate is a cruel jester laughing as we toil fruitlessly to inflate the power of an exploitative ruling class that seems hell-bent on leading us down the path of endless conflict and eventual extinction. My problem is that the number used to represent the 99th percent is a median net worth, which means half the people in here have more money than this number and the other half have less money. For every other group, you can tell when the number maxes out because if it gets too high, it gets sorted into the next group up. This last 1% though, we don't really know the highest net worth because there is no next group up. You might have heard people say, it's actually not the 1% who hold all the wealth, more like 0.01%. So let's do some advanced data research to see if we can add some detail to this last column.
Oh man, he's really going in.
Let's take a look at our new chart to see where...
That's kind of crazy though. This is probably gonna be, this is a short video, so I'm not gonna pause it too much, but that's actually pretty crazy. It's something to think about. Like, we're thinking like it's way less than, you know, way less the amount of people that actually hold majority of the wealth within America. And those are the people that are doing all of the controlling of the shit that's going down right now. Like all of the shit that people are getting affected by, and all the pollution and the general bad things that are going on within this country regarding like health, wealth, and all of that. Like those 0.1% people are profiting from all of that. You know what I'm saying? In one way or another, they are the reason that, you know, we're getting fucked over. It's crazy.
Where all this American abundance is hiding. Well, it sure isn't here in the lowest 50%. That's only 3% of the wealth. This section represents 166 million people, with net worths ranging from $100,000 in debt up to a fairly comfortable lifestyle of $121,000. These feel like most of the people I come across.
So
when we zoom out to 90%
even if
of the population,
wait a minute, even if you were to have 100,000, that really puts it into perspective. If you have 100 up to 120, I'm gonna say just up to 150,000. Fuck it, right? You still be in the bottom 50%. That's crazy.
These feel like most of the people I come across. When we zoom out to 90% of the population, you start to spot a few millionaires. This slope here feels like what you might expect from a free market economy where amassing money becomes exponentially easier when you have more of it to invest. Maybe some of these people are greedy, while some of these people are down on their luck or, being lazy, waiting for government handouts, or
Right.
maybe they just don't have that can-do spirit or a winner's mindset. But who cares? We're still only seeing 32% of the nation's wealth. When you add in the next 9%, the slope gets even more drastic as we try to fit people with up to $11 million onto this axis. This curve is still what you might expect from an economy that has wealth being passed down through generations and accumulating in the same hands over time, with maybe a history of policies that restrict poor and or non-white people from acquiring property. But this is only 69% of the wealth. Let's include everyone except the richest 0.1% of the population. Well, now this is just kind of screwing everything up. The scale has to reach up to $51 million, which means 98% of the people don't even make it to the first line on the grid. And if we're being accurate, these people shouldn't even be visible at this scale. Not sure if this is a glitch, but I'm going to go ahead and leave this 1 pixel line here just to remind people we exist. So here we've got 99.9% of the population, but the chart is still short by 13%. Normally I'd let that slide, but it's more than quadrupled the amount held by half the country. Up till now we've been using the same old medians in the lower brackets, but now that we've got more data for the 99th percentile, let's see what happens when we include everyone.
That is fucking crazy. The whole graph is glitched out because the rest of that 0.1%, they have so much money. Look at it. They have so much money up here. So much to account for. Over 180 billion. They have so much money that even the people who are making around like the fucking millions, they're not even visible. They're not even visible anymore. What the fuck is going on? Yo.
Visible slope symbolizing the steep but climbable path from rags to riches is now gone, replaced by a meaningless void. Is our chart so broken that it's showing nothing of interest, or is it actually telling the whole story of American affluence, and it's so bleak that it's better to just ignore it? If we're searching for the last 13% of American wealth, it must be somewhere in this line. It's just as empty and meaningless as before, even for the top 0.1%. Nobody except a few people at the end even register on the scale. Since the scale is now in billions of dollars, let's take a look at the billionaires. Now we're only looking at 720 people. This isn't the 1% or the 0.01%. This is 2/10,000ths of a percent, holding more wealth than half the country combined. The one nice thing, though, is that we can fit everyone on my chart. Did you know one person represents 3/10,000,000ths of a percent of the population? We can even see who they are. What's weird to me is that the wealth disparity just keeps going. How do we explain it now? Are these people more industrious than these people down here? Is George Soros a victim of his own conspiracy to keep himself down? Is Oprah just being lazy and waiting for government handouts? Is LeBron James lacking that winning mindset? Maybe life isn't exactly unfair to the billionaire class, but this 4% of wealth is not distributed evenly. Half of it is in the hands of the top 100, and half of that is in the hands of the top 10. Only here do you start to see anything resembling a plateau. Is $100 billion the amount at which you can finally be rich enough? Is it that there's no more wealth to be drained from the population because their capacity to build crap and buy other crap is maxed out? This chart isn't just about finance and economics. Money is power, influence, and freedom. Maybe I'm missing something, but this doesn't feel like the chart of a democracy where everyone has open access to opportunity. On the other hand, I'm starting to wonder if this situation is about more than people being too needy or too greedy, or too much government or not enough government, who's got a red hat, who's got a blue hat. There are obviously things we're doing that make the curve steeper than it needs to be, and things we could be doing to make it less severe. But this kind of continuously recurring pattern is starting to feel familiar. This has the markings of something even harder to understand than human behavior. It kind of looks like math. My old friend from high school who keeps showing up at every party I go to, not because he's invited, but because it turns out he's the one throwing it. We'll dive into that next time. In the meantime, go check out what we're doing at Commingle. You might find it interesting.
Nah, that's wild, bro. That's real wild. And just like he said before, You know, with all that money comes the influence, and that's what I was talking about. Because if you really, we go into, let's say, what was it, the top 10 billionaires, right? 1% of wealth. Each one of these is what, a millionth of a percentile? Like, what? And then you had Elon Musk all the way over here. You got Elon Musk and all these people. You know what I'm saying? Then he showed LeBron, Oprah, George Soros. All of these people are of tremendous influence, you feel me? And I feel like they're massive amount of wealth only because of their original influence, you know what I mean? Except for maybe like the exception of George Soros, you know, but he probably had an influence in a different way, probably in like a financial market and whatnot. But people like Oprah and LeBron, like, people look up to those people. People want to try and be some version of those people within their careers and shit like that. So, but then you go into maybe people back to like Elon Musk. We go back to Elon Musk, right? Or somebody like Steve Ballmer at Microsoft. Elon Musk. These people have their own type of pull, especially Elon Musk. You got Tesla, SpaceX. He has X now. These people are the ones who are really controlling everything that we got going on. You know, the reason why the things are happening the way they're happening is because our country allows people to be bought off, our politicians, everything like that. Kind of crazy, you know. So with this kind of money, you probably feel like you could put anything into anywhere and make it go your way. You got $105.3 billion. Like, yeah, I'll give you 20 million if you gonna promote my product, if you gonna promote my ideology and shit like that. Yeah, I'll give you 20 million. That's like $20 to them, for real. Or maybe 200. But even then, what is that? Shit's really crazy. Something to think about, man. If y'all want to check the video out, I'm gonna put it in the description. That's it for now. We're gonna catch you in the next video. Let's hit the outro. Hey, what's good? Appreciate you watching the video. Pick one of these. Or subscribe, leave a like and comment down. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff would be appreciated. Do it if you want to. I mean, you ain't have to. You don't even have to sit here and this is really the outro, so you don't even have to really like sit here and watch me still, or you know what I'm saying, listen to me talk. Just click one of the videos or subscribe or something. Leave a like, leave a comment. Appreciate what you're viewing. Catch you later.
We smoking ganja. Hitting in the hills, we smoking ganja. You could try it.